this is the work. The work is going to be expansive. The work is going to be hard. The work is going to be difficult. To Gail's point, we make so many decisions based on what will make money, not what is important art. And I think that is like, that means that we are at a moral impasse with like ourselves and the things that we purport to do. And so this is the way I approach dramaturgy for organizations and for institutions and for communities. What are the things that you say? Your mission statement is your script. And then everything you're not serving are the plot holes. So we either need to fill the plot holes or we need to change the language so that it actually tells the truth of what we're doing and what we're trying to do.
I'm going to really quick interject. I could have this conversation for 4 weeks, and I'm so glad everyone's here, but I also want to respect Amara's time, especially as the invited moderator. So really quick, I'd like to interject that I very much am hoping this is a starting point for conversation. I know I will just speak from my experience this week. I have had dozens of hours of talks, scores of hours of talks in the last few weeks with people across the entire country, from New York, from Vegas, from Jersey, all over the place, LA, where we're talking about trying to be better. And I hope, speaking to what Amara said earlier, I hope it's true that there is a very, very small number of people that actually hold a ton of hate in their hearts and intentionally, try to suppress people. And I hope there's more and more of us who in all races, as Janet pointed out regarding, ableism and stuff too, like, who are going to continue this conversation of being better for hearing each other, of being better at being centered, feeling that we're the center narrative and that we're inviting other people in that narrative, but rather understanding that we're all individually the person that is at the center of our story. So to that end, I just quickly want to say before, if people start ducking out, that I know there were every single one of the people in this room I wanted to hear talk for an hour about where they're at with this and how we're processing stuff. And we just, obviously there's time constraints on that. I personally invite everyone in this room to open a continued conversation with me, even though my understanding is far from remotely perfect in any regard. I had a dear, dear person that I love, who is in this chat right now, ask me this morning, how could you give me an example of a way in which I could be being racist? And it wasn't a person asking that in a sense of like a challenge. It was really help me understand the ways in which the things I'm doing may be being racist. And so I'm so glad that everyone in this conversation clearly is in a place where by being here, we're showing that interest in hearing each other's voices. I'm sorry that we didn't have time to like ask questions up until this point, because I'm sure many of us have questions and things we'd like to talk about. And I hope that we will all continue these conversations off camera and with each other. And certainly I welcome you, Amara. I'm going to throw it to you to like wrap up, but then also to continue the conversation if you want to. Julian and I are very, very passionate about continuing these conversations in the community, and it's clear that a lot of you are as well. Several people, without solicitation, like sent us money to help make this happen without me asking. So that like really warmed my heart a lot, and meant that we're doing something that needs to happen in our community. So Julian and I will announce, but a couple, like maybe a month from now, 2 weeks later, we'll do a talk specifically about that in our community. Like, how can we continue looking towards anti-racist practices? What does that even mean? So thank you so much, Amara. Again, I encourage everyone to reach out to Amara's website and examine her perspectives, look at resources, educate ourselves in ways that we're slowly learning how to be better humans. And also thank you everyone for being here, particularly the panelists for being vulnerable and exposing your perspectives. And Amara, I will turn it to you, but then I am not going to say, like, you don't have to do a hard end to the conversation. Even if you need to tag out and you want to go, we can continue with whoever wants to stick around and talk and ask questions and whatever as well. So go ahead, Amara, thank you so much.
Hey y'all, thank you again for having me. I don't know, anybody got any questions?